boy. Hi, Gaye DeRusso, the Majestic rider. So today, can't tell if I'm in the camera, I'm going to work on Flyboy and having something behind him. I'm going to use the alligator because the alligator's pretty light and it makes it easy to pull, but it's still something scary to pull up behind your horse. Now, he's pretty curious, so he might not be so scared of it, so I'm just letting him smell it first. Now I'm going to walk around with it. Hey, don't eat the grass. So why would you want to pull things behind your horse? Because your horse has a blind spot behind him, and they can't always see. It's good to get them used to things coming up behind them and not eating them to build up their confidence. And that way, if a bike or something comes up behind you, it's not as scary. So the curious horses a lot of times will smell it first. If they won't, you can always put food on it, and food makes it a good thing. I have some cookies in my pocket, so if he starts to get nervous, I can use that. And you might have seen me do this with Sarah, the walking horse. So what I'm going to do first is not have it follow him, but have him follow the alligator. So what you're trying to do is make your horse curious. You can let it touch it, but don't let it paw it because it will pop. And you're going to have to walk backwards a little bit. So now I'm going to stop. Now again, a lot of times the horses, when they're trying to figure out what things are, they don't have hands, so they paw things. Again, don't let them paw it because it'll pop and then that'll scare them. Now he's still looking at it. Remember, horses put their head up and down to see. That's how they focus. They turn their head side to side like he's doing. And then when they're not worried about it, they usually walk away or start eating grass. If they're playing with it or smelling it, then they're just seeing what it is. So see how he's now going for the grass? So that means I can do more because he's not afraid. So use those signals to help you. Now I have to walk faster because he's getting a little bit close to it. So you're trying to build up their confidence by him following it and it running away. He's like, oh, it's not so scary. It's afraid of me. So now we'll stop again. And I'll do this with other horses so you can see how they react. He's like, Gaye, I don't get it. I'm really not that scared. So what we're going to do, you want a long rope, and you want to be careful. Don't wrap it around your arm or anything. You can drop it if you need to if the horse starts freaking out. But what we're going to do is now put it behind him. You want it far away. Remember, your horse has a safety bubble. Some horses, that's tons of feet, like 100 feet. I don't have 100 foot of rope though. And some horses, that's 5 feet. So it all depends on the horse. If somebody's done this work or they have a very calm temperament, then they won't freak out. But what I'm going to do is start to pull it as he's walking. And what's going to happen is at times the rope's going to hit him in the butt, so he gets used to that. And let's go this way. And at other times, it's going to switch sides on him. So you have to be able to multitask, or you can't do this, and you'll need a helper. Now, I got it caught on the thing, so I'm just whipping it around. So I'm not being careful about getting this out because he's not scared. So I just want to get him used to all different things. So you'll see he's watching it, and then he'll see it's going to start to follow him again. It might go over the pole and do the alligator death roll. Now see, when he bolted, which was fine, normal horse behavior, run, it's an alligator, I brought him back to it. So same thing when you're riding your horse. If it bolts, stop and immediately go back to what the object was and let them see what it was. So now I'm going to reward him with a cookie by going up to the scary thing. No, and you see how he doesn't see well like we do? I can see the cookie, you can see the cookie, but he can't see the cookie. I want him to take it off the alligator so he's not so afraid. So I keep just putting it up to his nose till he figured it out. So when your horse is bolting forward, it's usually because nobody's taught them how to handle fear and what to do with it. Your job to make this a good riding horse is to teach them when they're scared, stop and look at it. Okay, so we're going to start again. And you got to teach them the basics first, like the wiggle the rope means stay out of my space, so if he gets really scared, he doesn't run over the top of me, because that's what they'll do. So see, good boy. He went from being really scared to okay again, but it's going to flip over again. It's going to happen. Because Gaye, that's me, tries to figure out all your fears and get you over them. I mean, you see something weird on the trail, how nice is it to be like, oh, my horse is cool with that because I've done all this stuff at home. But remember, if your friends haven't, their horses might freak out. And even though your horse is not scared of the object, your horse freaks out because the other horses freak out. So make sure everybody does some desensitizing. So when it hits this white thing, it might flip over. Or it might get stuck. So he's just getting used to it being by him. So I would not get on and ride a horse unless I had done this stuff to it before. Lots of people will. They'll just grab stuff and drag it and make the horse tolerate it. I'm not trying to make him tolerate it. I'm trying to build his trust in me so he knows when I tell him, hey, you're okay, he really is okay. So you don't want to do anything crazy with it till they've gotten used to it. Then you can pull it through the air. Now, if it happens by accident, that's okay. But otherwise, I'm not going to purposely yank this thing through the air. And it's getting deflated. Because that's just going to scare him and not build his confidence up and take it away. Remember, we're trying to instill trust, not fear. But again, he must stay out of my space for me to be able to do this well. Now see, it flipped over that time? Good boy. And he didn't get scared. Now this horse can get a little mouthy, so I don't give him a lot of cookies, but today's a different day. This is something scary. So tomorrow, since he's gotten used to this, I won't be giving him cookies. But today we're just doing it. Let's make it float through the water. To just get him used to it. It's just another goofy thing that we're doing. Now, you can pull other things in time that rattle, make noise. But if you're dragging it around, it's got to be light enough. I'm going to let it go a little longer. Because he had a little worry. And I'm like, okay, I got it that you're a little worried, so I'll back it off some. Remember, I'm trying to help him, not scare him. So I don't start with a bucket or things like that because they make noise. I don't start with a log or a tire because that's hard for me to pull. I want something light, but something else besides just the rope. And some horses are just afraid of the rope dragging behind them. Well, that's where you start then. Start with what you can do, not with what you can't do. Okay. So now we're going to pull the alligator up. He's watching it. Good boy. But see how he has to turn his head to get a better focus on it? Now he got a little scared, so I'm going to stop it while he assesses if he's safe. And I'm like, you're safe. I got you, but you cannot come over the top of me. I can't hold him. He's 1,000 pounds. So what I'm trying to do is build up his courage, just like you do with people. Okay? Good boy. So I'm going to bring it a little closer. Good. Now he just went like that, so I saw that he was fearful, and I'm like, you're okay. Good job. Now, I'm just making the alligator be a good thing because I'm associating it with food. Good boy. There he got scared. Hi, alligator. Oh, you got flipped over. Let me flip you back. Good job. Now, see how he got scared? That's okay. That's all normal. So now I'm bringing him back over to it. Good boy. It's the same alligator you saw 5 minutes ago. He's like, but sometimes alligators are predators, Gaye. I'm like, yeah, most of the time. But this one's plastic. See? He's like, don't tell anybody I spooked. I just told everybody because you're on camera. So don't spook anymore, and you won't be embarrassed. Okay? So again, I'm not surprised that he jumped. This is all scary. It's just teaching him what to do when he does jump. So the fact he's looking at it, and this is a pretty brave horse for his age. He's just 6, which I consider a baby. Okay? So now I got to get him back out of my space because he's like, you got cookies and I like cookies, but I don't like Mr. Alligator. Now see him going sideways? This is a shoulder in. I didn't even try, but look how well. Now look at his side pass. So you can do lots of things when they're scared. Okay, let's go this way. But you got to have good balance because I'm walking backwards. You have to be aware of your horse. Don't just scare it. And again, you have to be able to kind of multitask. I have to be able to control him and control the alligator. And this is the mistake a lot of people make when they start ponying a horse. They're like, just give me the rope. And I'm like, that's not the way to do it. Because the horse isn't used to a rope being dragged behind it. It's not used to a rope going up its tail or the other horse behind it. And it can cause a bad accident. And sometimes when bad things happen, people don't let go of the rope, which they should. So now you might be like, why did I just stop? I stopped because he stopped and looked at it. So remember, horses learn from the release. So he stopped the object by stopping and looking at it. And that's what I'm trying to teach him is when you're scared, he's like, do I get a cookie? No. When you're scared, don't run. Stop and look. Good boy. But see how smart he is? He's like, I looked at it, you got food. And I'm like, no. Sometimes that changes. Okay. So again, the thing we learned, which is much better than being on his back, is if something comes up behind him that he's unsure of, he's going to shoot forward. So the owner's got to learn how to stop him quickly, turn him around. I'm in the water, which I didn't know. And how to ride out a spin just in case it ever happens. Let's see if he floats. Ooh, look. Ooh. Ooh, here he comes. Here he comes. So see, he's not so afraid when it's in front of him. He's scared, but he's not as afraid as when it's behind him. Want this? So I'm trying to entice him. I'm putting it in front of his nose, and then I'm putting it by the alligator. Let's see if it stays on it. It's right there. So he's just following my feel, because again, he probably could not see that. Good boy. Remember, let them touch, but don't let them paw. Okay. So when I turn, I got to make sure he stays back. So your groundwork is very important. Good boy. But I'm going to stop every time he wants to investigate or look back at the object. Good boy. Now, you might be like, my horse is petrified. Well, so is mine, Tilly. But now that she trusts me, she just lets me do random things like this. And she doesn't have much worry at all, because she's like, Gaye helps me. She doesn't hurt me. I trust her. Same as when you trust your people. Look at that shoulder in. Well, if you use Pivo, you're supposed to put on Do Not Disturb, which I forgot. So, he was doing a nice shoulder in. And then the phone rang. So, I'll make some other videos with some other horses so you see. But that's his first day with the alligator. So overall, I think he did really well. You can have one more cookie just because you're cute, but it's on the alligator. No. See, he's not totally afraid. He's just afraid of the movement of it. So that just tells me he needs some work with some stuff behind him. And don't let him chew on the alligator, because same thing, it'll pop. All right, so that's it for Flyboy. I think he did quite good for the first day. Let's see how the other ones do. Okay, so this is a 5-year-old coming 6 Missouri Foxtrotter. This horse has pulled a cart. He has a pretty mellow temperament. Let's fix your halter. And so he should do pretty well, but just because they pulled a cart does not mean they're okay with things flying up behind them. Because remember, when they pull carts, what do most people do? They put blinders on them so they can't see the things coming from behind. But he doesn't seem overly affected. So again, don't start with it behind him. Start with it in front of him. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start pulling this and have him follow it. Now, he already just stepped on it. Good thing you didn't pop it. Now look, he's getting a little bit nervous. And you would think that he wouldn't be just because he's pulled a cart and he's had a lot of desensitizing. But this is a new thing. But he's good like Flyboy. He's curious. And that's going to make him brave. But young horses aren't always sure of things. That's just the way it is. So, as an owner or a trainer of a young horse, you have to help them get that experience on. Okay. So he's doing pretty good, but it's on the right side of him. So now let's try it on the left side of him. Because they see different out of their eyes. So if it keeps going on the one side, he didn't get scared with it flipping over though, then I try to pull them on the other side to see. So horses get braver when you take things away from them, and sometimes they'll run forward and actually jump on it, so you got to be careful. And he's new to me, so I'm still working on his ground manners. Okay. So let's flip Mr. Alligator back over. Any of the young ones can become mouthy, so you got to be careful. If they get spoiled or anything, they can become obnoxious, especially when they're not scared of things. So with this horse, again, I want to be careful that we don't give him too many cookies or make him, he's doing good, make him food aggressive or cookie aggressive and mouthy. Good job. You're doing really good. But again, Flyboy hasn't pulled a cart, but this guy has. Now again, when other people have done stuff and it hasn't been me, I don't trust it. Because you just don't know what they did with the horse. And yes, some people do drug horses, other people don't. So he's doing really well. Okay, so we're going to turn around. That was on your right side. So now we're going to go this way. And we're going to do it on his left side. But again, same thing. If I didn't make him stay out of my space, and he did not in the beginning, this wouldn't be going as well. Because, again, they could be coming over the top of you. So groundwork is, it's going to flip. Death roll. Good boy. Good job. Good job, buddy. So again, not as big as the response as Flyboy, but he's had more experience even though he's younger. So each horse has a different amount of experience depending what the people did with them. So what I'm trying to do is just make sure he looks at it, which he is. That's why he's turning his head. Remember, that's how they focus. Our eyes focus with our heads just staying still, but they have to move their head up and down and sideways. Good job. But again, once they start playing around or looking for grass, you know that they're comfortable with it. Good job. And if your horse is really bad, watch my other spooky videos. So some horses aren't going to need as much. So this horse, I'd be much quicker. I'm going to let it go a little further away at being able to ride him and pull this behind him without him having an issue. So he's doing really good staying back, and he's watching it. Good boy. But he's not being afraid of it. He's just like, these humans are weird. And you can use any blow up. It doesn't have to be an alligator. It's just something that you can drag and that it's not going to go flying all over in the beginning. Okay. Now here it goes in the water, so it might look different. Okay. So again, you start with something easy, something that's easy to pull, something that's not horribly scary for the horse. And then once they get used to this, then again you could go to something else. All right, I'm going to get another one. Another one, this is Rocky. He's a Tennessee walking horse, but a McCurdy one. So he doesn't have that big overstride. And they're usually thicker bone, pretty calm, not so pacey most of the time. Now are you turning 11? I think he's turning 11, right? So he's got more experience, and the people who owned him before did some liberty work and some other things with them. So he's pretty mellow. Good boy. Okay? So what I'm going to do is just pull it. You see he doesn't care so much. In fact, you're too close. Now he just came. So you see his ground manners aren't as good, even though they did liberty work with him. They didn't keep him out of their space so much. Okay. So you get the game, don't you? So we're going to give you one cookie because we can tell you're going to be obnoxious. So whoever gets him should not overly cookify him because he's already been there, done that, and that's why he is the way he is. So he needs someone who, even though he's dull and quiet and all that, who's going to keep him respectful. Okay? Okay. Oh, I just did the wrong thing. See, we all do the wrong thing. All right, you're coming with me. This is staying back, and we'll see how it goes with him. Now, the rope's going to hit his leg, so even though the alligator doesn't freak him out, the rope could. So just get the horse used to things touching its legs, going under its tail. So if that stuff happens because you're ponying something, it doesn't get freaked out. So you'll see I'm not trying to get it away from his legs. I'm watching it, but I'm not trying to get it away from him. So he doesn't care at all. There goes the death roll and see no reaction. So if you're doing this to different horses, good boy. So see, I stopped because he was getting in my space and I want to be clear about it since he's new. So I backed him off and then I said, stay back there. I didn't immediately walk off because many people do too many things at the same time. Do one, let them think, what the hell did that lady want? Oh, she wants me to stay back. And then go again. So I do want to get this on the other side of them. But if you have multiple horses, you just remember which one had problems and try and do the same thing so it's easier to remember. So with him, he's doing great. The only thing I'm having to do is keep him out of my space. But this is a very quiet horse, at least from what I've seen so far. Okay. So now we're going to try and put it on the other side of him. Come on. I know this is hard, but you're on my rope. So see, it's all wrapped around his legs. And now you're in my space. Nope. So I'm just trying to get the rope where I can control him. So I'm trying to bring him closer to this. Because as I was turning, it was getting all up underneath him. Good boy. And then I'm trying to get it on the right-hand side of him. And you might think this looks easy. It is not. You'll get all tangled up in about a minute. Okay. Now he's got to get back. Good boy. Good boy. So you can tell he's not scared. He doesn't have any worry in his eyes. It's just he doesn't get the whole stay out of Gaye's space. Good boy. So if I want to give him a cookie, I'm going to back you up. because he's probably gone into people's space to get the cookie. So let's teach him to back up, stay there, then you can have one cookie. Okay, so he doesn't really need work on this. So let's move on to the next one. I have my mare Tilly. She has dragged this before, but it's been a while. Tilly was a very spooky horse. Not sure of herself, not sure of other people were going to help her, so she didn't have a lot of trust, but she trusted other horses. My personal horse, nothing like a challenge for a trainer, right? And so, good girl. So she trusts me pretty well now, but we'll see, because again, I haven't done it, so if she spooked a little, I wouldn't be surprised. But she used to be afraid and want to run from things. Now she wants to stop and investigate things. You might feel bad doing stuff like this with your horse, like you're scaring it. Again, and the point is not to scare your horse, but to build its confidence. So Tilly has become a totally different horse. So, good girl. So we'll pull it a little bit, just so you see how she reacts to it. But she's become very brave and not so scared in her body anymore. So that's a great thing. Okay? So again, you're not doing it to scare them. You have to do it in the right way, but you're doing it to build their confidence. If you don't, they'll be scared of everything their entire life, and that's just sad. Okay, Tilly. She's like, but it's my baby alligator. So she's looking, but she's not that scared. And remember, when they keep walking sideways and doing this shoulder in, that's great to help pick up the pace, so you can get two things done. Help your horse not to be so pacey by teaching it the shoulder in with the obstacle, and then help them to get desensitized to things. So we're just going the other way, because you can see she's not afraid, and you're not listening, are you? Right? Another mare behavior. She's like, I'm not afraid, I got this. Let me walk with you. And I'm like, no, I am the leader. Okay. So you see Tilly doesn't care. And if you don't believe this was a spooky horse, just go in my YouTube channel under search and look up Tilly, and you'll see how scared she was. Now, she wasn't so scared of the alligator because I had built up a lot of trust before I did this with her. Okay? So you do it in stages, but each horse is different. But look how, you'd never know she was spooky if you saw this video. So remember, when you're watching auctions, if that horse trusts the person, they might not be spooky with them, but they might be still spooky with you. Okay, so she's fine. So we're going to free her so she can just hang out. Yeah, you did a good job. You did a good job. She's like, thank you, Mama. All right, so I'm going to go get someone else. This is Ringo. He's a 6-year-old foxtrotter that's for sale. And he has not done this before. So he actually has very good temperament. He still, is getting miles on him alone. If he's first, he can be a little nervous. If you're confident, he'll go wherever you want. If you're nervous, he's not going to go with you. And that's how it is with a lot of young horses. And that's smart, because they shouldn't go with you, because you don't know what you're doing. So, you might as well see the underside of his belly. Because this is what you do, Ringo, is if it attacks, you flip it over. It's much harder for it to get back over. And if it's plastic, you just pop it, and then it's not alive anymore. So, you want a cookie? All right. So you do this with everything, bikes, anything you can think of, anything you see on the trail. And if this is winter or bad weather for you, like it rained here. Yes, it's sunny now because it's California, but it did pour for a couple of days. So these are great things to do. You can pull a toboggan, anything safe that's not going to hurt them, you can pull. And just have it on ropes. If you're really uncoordinated, have things that will break away. So if something does get caught or have a breakaway clip, that it'll break in case you don't let go or something. So, like they say, 2 ways in, 1 way out. 1 way in, 2 ways out? Which one is it, Ringo? He's like, I think it's 1 way in, 2 ways out. Yeah, so always plan. So he just wants the cookies now. Okay? That's the nice thing when they like food. Okay, so now we're going to pull it. Foxtrotters are pretty mellow, but not all of them. Some of them are stubborn, but they're, you know, they're supposed to be more cowy, so they should like to follow things. So I got the rope going behind him, so that's one thing, and then you're standing on my rope. So see, I'm pulling the ropes all around his feet. Let him get used to everything. Now I don't know if that followed us or not. All right, we're going to check the camera for a minute. Don't stand on it. Let's go check the camera. Don't step on it. All right, so now we're going to pull it behind him. But you can see, I've been working with him for months, so he trusts me. Where the other two were newer, 2 or 3 were newer. Tilly's got my pivo. Don't do it. So Ringo's getting the alligator backwards. So you make them not afraid of stuff, and then they knock your equipment over. Not him, but Tilly. Come on. So it flipped over, no response from him. Tilly! So she knocked it over. See, I've made her so brave that now she's messing with my stuff. And I yelled at her and she ran away. Yes, I still get after them if they do stuff, but the braver they are, the more they bust stuff. But it keeps you safer under saddle, so who cares? They just might break your equipment. Come on. All right, so now we're going to go this way with them, but you see, he's doing great, and he doesn't care about it. So when they don't care about stuff, you can do it a couple of times, once in a while, and then just here and there so they don't forget. So I'm watching the rope behind him. But sometimes they have done stuff like this. You'll see it in an auction video, and you get them and try it, and they're crazy. Well, one, they might have just done it to the horse that day, and they don't have any trust, or they made them really tired before they did it. I didn't do anything except pull these guys out of their stalls. If I do have one really spooky, I will lunge it or work it first to get rid of some of that spooky energy. It does make a huge difference. But this will build up your confidence. The more stuff you do at home, and you know your horse has seen it, and then you do it around the barn. Oh, you stepped on your rope. So I don't mind them stepping on the rope because I want them to figure out how to get out of it in case they ever get stuck somewhere or they just wait for help. But he doesn't care. So we don't have to do any more of this with him either. So just remember, this is to build the horse's confidence, not to scare them, to help you get a better non-spooky horse. The younger horses, if nobody's done this to them, it's going to take a lot more time. And that's why young horses need people who know what they're doing to help them. The older horses should know, but you saw some of them don't have that experience. Like Tilly didn't have the experience. They didn't do lots of desensitizing. So she didn't have a lot of that experience on her, and you have to put it on. And then you get a great horse. Again, no one would think she's spooky now because of all the things I can do with her. So I hope that helps. Remember, like and subscribe, put on your notifications so you can become a better horseman and get a nice gaited horse.